Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to another What Do You Want to Watch Broken News Report, covering the Marvel Studios panel from San Diego Comic-Con. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me is Dylan Blight.
I'd actually argue this one is breaking since we're recording it.
It's
right
a little
after
less
the panels.
broken. I mean, once you've chipped it, it's technically broken, so...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Bit more time at least.
We've got a stacked conversation to have because they announced a huge slate of projects. Well, I guess announced is probably a strong word because some of these we already knew about. And
Rumored, confirmed.
Confirmed.
For a lot. Yeah.
People came out. It was cool. Of course, they started the panel, bringing out all the executives to give themselves a bit of a pat on the back for apparently this week they're going to be crossing over to be the highest grossing film of all time.
I saw news reports saying that they're going to do that or have done it. So
without inflation, they not accounting inflation. And then Kevin Feige made a good joke that the next time James Cameron releases a film, they'll probably get passed again. So, but you never know when that's going to happen. Probably never. But then they kicked the show off with cast announcement for the Eternals, which is there are a bunch of. The movie's going to be following a superpowered and near immortal beings known as the Eternals and a more monstrous offshoot known as the Deviants that were created by the cosmic beings called the Celestials. The full ensemble cast is Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, Kamal Nanjiani, Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek, Lauren Ridloff from The Walking Dead, Leah McHugh, who is a younger actress, and then Don Lee from Train to Busan and other things like that. So, yeah, that's a pretty nice ensemble cast. The Eternals doesn't really do anything for me. I think this Eternals is what Guardians were for people who didn't know Guardians before Guardians came out. So,
yep.
I mean, it's interesting.
I like the cast.
Yeah,
that's the only thing of the Eternals movie, and we talked about it on previous episode of What Do You Want to Watch before. I've not read any of the comics. I know basically nothing about them other than like brief bits here and there whenever all the rumored news stories were coming out about them. But other than that, I know nothing. But I like the cast. I mean, and a lot of this was confirmed rumors too, with the Angelina Jolie and I mean, Richard Madden was already confirmed, wasn't he?
I think he was confirmed, and I think Kamal was confirmed.
Yeah, it's like hard to pick between the rumored and the confirmed here.
Yeah, but no Millie Bobby Brown.
No.
That rumor was definitely a rumor.
They Star Wars snatched her away instead of giving her to Marvel.
Is that confirmed?
Maybe, hopefully. No, I just want it to be confirmed. I like Don Lee in this, though, because I quite like him in Train to Busan, obviously. So
yeah, super charismatic.
Good to see another actor come over into... Well, what would you call it? American
Hollywood.
Hollywood, I guess. Yeah.
And this one's being directed by Chloe Zhao, who previously did The Rider and Songs My Brother Taught Me, and the upcoming Nomadland with Frances McDormand. So,
not much really.
Not a huge catalog to go on. Probably, I don't know how they pick their directors at this point. It's like, yeah, I like that. That fit. So Kevin Feige just watches a lot of films and he says, I like that one, and then you get a Marvel directing job.
Yeah.
But yes.
There's like I'll say there's a theme for a lot of the movies they announced here and confirmed here. I don't see like a big connection or like I see zero hints at what the through line for the next storyline within the Marvel universe is going to be, which I don't know if is a good thing or a bad thing, because I'm like, Eternals, cool, so they're going to be off doing a cosmic thing, and then I presume cosmic thing, and then whatever else. So, and then I'm like, Angelina Jolie, when you cast someone like her, one of my worries is that someone who you're going to be able to do like 10-minute cameos in movies, and you know what I mean, like smaller roles, or is she going to ask $10 million to appear on screen for 2 seconds? So
I don't know. Apparently her line was something she was going to put 110% effort into it. She feels super responsible for the MCU or something along those lines. I think I saw her in a tweet somewhere. So
whatever that means.
Yep. She seems super, or she seems super invested, or is super put it on thick. But
Super got money. And
Super getting
happy
paid.
to-
But yes, Eternals coming November 6th, 2020. Then they did more of a little bit more information about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which of course is a Disney Plus series coming in spring 2020 if it comes to Australia. Starring Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, and a returning Daniel Bruhl, who will play Baron Zemo in the series. Other than that, I don't think we got too much information. Anthony Mackie walked out with a shield. So, set after Endgame.
People threw stuff at him and said, "It should have been Bucky. It should have been Bucky." People still upset about that. I don't know. I like the logo. That's another thing we should really talk about for all this, because we should be rating the fucking logos if we go back. Because I'll give the Eternals a solid fucking 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a 6.
Boring. Yeah,
it's pretty standard.
Nothing super exciting.
I mean, it's got that cloud thingy in the background. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's
dark clouds.
Anyway. I like this one. I like this Falcon and Winter Soldier one. I'll give this like a 7.5.
Okay.
Especially for a TV show. I like it as a TV show logo for some reason. I just see it as like a good logo title screen type thing. It's got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier covered around this, like the shield in the background and all that sort of stuff. I quite like it, so that's why I'll rate this one. But yeah, they I don't know what they're going to be doing. I suppose if the whole series is just them fighting Zemo, then cool. I guess. I mean, I like him. It's not he wasn't a super interesting villain, but he's a fun villain, I guess, if that's the category you want to put him in. He's just like terrorist-y, not super. Yeah. Doesn't have like great motivation, I guess, but could be fun. This is another one. Some of these we got more details than others, and this is one where they're just like
they left it up for pure speculation. I imagine they don't have too much information on what they're actually doing yet. It's still a while out.
My problem, I wish we had a little bit more for some of these, because I just kind of want to know where everything fits in, especially because there was that we used to have a very easy understanding for the Marvel movies where each one consecutively took place after one another, and now we've got movies that are set before other movies and TV series that are being like slotted in at certain timelines. You know what I mean? Like it's just becoming a lot harder to keep up with
everything,
where we're going and what we're doing amongst the MCU continuity now.
Then we had Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, the longest title for a Marvel movie yet. Coming February 2021, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who previously had directed Short Term 12, which, side note, is one of the most stacked casts of up-and-comers. If you go watch it, look at that cast, it's incredible. But then they announced that Simu Lee from Kim's Convenience will be playing the title role of Shang-Chi, as well as Aquafina is going to be playing a role in the film, and Tony Leung is going to be playing the Mandarin. Tony Leung from... Well, yeah, his title, they showed his picture and under his name, I'm pretty sure it said the Mandarin.
Well, that would make sense, because do you remember that short that they did about the Mandarin? That like 7-8 minute short they did to kind of retcon the ending of Iron Man 3?
No idea.
Did you ever watch that? Okay. I don't recall what DVD or Blu-ray or whatever it's on. It's like an 8-minute short, and it basically has what's his face who played him in Iron Man 3? Oh fuck, what's his name? Ben Kingsley. Yeah. He's in prison and stuff. And then someone comes in to interview him, and I think it might have been... I can't remember what the actor is now. But he's also in the same prison that Sam Rockwell's in. His character's there. So you get a cameo from like other Iron Man villains. And then this person comes in, they interview the Mandarin, and they're basically saying, why was you pretending to be the Mandarin? You're not the real Mandarin, blah, 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 blah. And then like the prison... like recess room or whatever they're in kind of blows up and makes out like a bunch of people are coming in, or like the real Mandarins coming to seek revenge on him or something like that. And it just left on this cliffhanger. And this was released years and years and years ago. And I remember when it came out, there was this big hullabaloo for like a solid week of people being like, wow, this confirms that the real Mandarin's actually still yet to come in the MCU canon, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, people forgot about it, of course, like they do, because the next Marvel movie came out and people moved on with their lives. But it was a thing they set up years and years and years and years ago, that this possibility of the actual Mandarin being out there, the quote unquote proper one, to make people happy. So if that's what they're doing here, then maybe seeking out that 8-minute short film is probably more relevant now, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up. But yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty keen for this one. This looks cool. Logo, I mean, it's a bit busy. That would be my only issue with it. But probably like a 6 as well. What about you, Dylan?
Yeah, it reminds me of the Jackie Chan Adventures animated TV show.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
All the kids and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'll give it a 6. Not blowing the line
Nothing too
away.
fancy.
But I'm intrigued with this as I know nothing about the character. I've never read any of these the comics that the character's been in or anything. So that's cool. But also, I'm super happy that Marvel are learning from their mistakes in the Netflix world, and they're casting. They're not replacing characters with white people.
Well, they didn't replace
Fist.
people with white people. Iron Fist is a white person in the comics. They had the option to, but they didn't. They didn't do the diversity thing that everybody's. It wasn't in vogue then, like it is now.
Yawn. So this is no, this looks cool. It's a teenager, right? Or like a young adult, I guess. Like story, isn't it?
I have no idea. I know nothing about Shang-Chi. That is the biggest concern about this film, is that nobody really knows anything about it, and it doesn't have the staff pulling factor that other ones they've done recently have had.
I honestly feel like Marvel have proven that
they don't need to, but
it really doesn't matter. Like in the world where it's like, well, does anyone know this comic book character? No, because as far as I'm aware, and this isn't like trying to pull some gatekeeping, like, if you don't read comics, you can't be a real Marvel fan. But like, I swear the majority of people that I see on my timeline that I know get super hyped about this, they don't read the fucking comics, you know?
Yep.
They don't know any of these characters. They're super pumped. And they're just, and that's, I'm going to say that's a lot of the audience that sees these movies. They have no connection to the comics. So they're just like, Marvel, just give me movies. At this stage, I honestly just feel like people that are in for the MCU movies don't really care.
no,
You know?
that's true.
Character, don't know who the character is. Doesn't matter. I'll watch it.
Yep.
Marvel movie? Cool. Let's go.
So
That's
Shang-Chi,
most people's motto.
Shang-Chi, February 12th, 2021. Then
Who's the director?
I say Destin Daniel Cretton.
What have they done?
Short Term 12.
Oh, that one, right. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Forgot.
Then we got a bit more information about Wanda Vision, still the worst name for anything, coming to Disney Plus autumn 2021, starring Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, with Teyonah Parris, who previously done work in Mad Men and Dear White People, the film, playing a grown-up Monica Rambeau from Captain Marvel. It's going to be set after Endgame, which is interesting.
Explain that one.
Yep. And Elizabeth Olsen says the show is going to be weird, deep, and fun. And Paul Bettany doesn't know how or if he's alive in the show. So, got that going for it.
Makes perfect sense. It honestly sounds like, well, I mean, I think this is the case for a lot of these. They're bringing out the cast and everything, but I swear, like, the cast have not seen a script or anything.
No,
this.
definitely not.
I'm sure, like, storylines or drafts of scripts and
Pitches.
whatever exist, they don't see them. They're not showing the cast. So they're literally dragging them out to be like, get excited about this thing that you know nothing
Come get your
about.
photo taken.
Yeah. But basically, it's like, if people could try and interview them after, they're still not going to be able to answer any questions about what the hell this shit's about. Logo for this one, I'm going to give 6.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6. They made the best of it.
Yeah, it's a terrible name, so logo, I don't know how I could go too far. I think that's supposed to look like the
Neon
Wanda
or something?
Vision logo.
Oh, yeah.
Like the film thing or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
You know? So No, I feel like that's what it's supposed to be going for. But yeah, since they literally gave us nothing new, my feelings on this haven't changed at all since they rumored or was it rumored? This is the first official announcement, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was on the list of things that they had when they announced Disney Plus. But
it's getting so confusing.
it is. There's too many things. Next up, we had Loki coming autumn 2021, another Disney Plus series starring Tom Hiddleston. It has been confirmed that this series will tell you what happened to Loki after that scene in Endgame. Tom Hiddleston is quoted as saying, "He's still the guy from Avengers after he got Hulk smashed. It is one of the most exciting creative opportunities I think I've ever come across. I cannot wait to get it started." So it's definitely the Loki who, spoilers for Endgame, Tesseract's out after the events of Avengers and is not the Loki we see die at the end of beginning of Infinity War, with that progression over those couple of films.
Yep. So my thing with this, confirming this, I'm like, cool, that makes sense. I'm glad they're not like retconning and bringing back Loki to the main universe or whatever. I have no problem with alternate dimension stories with characters, as someone who obviously reads comic books. But my thing with this is, do you think that you know what I mean? Like general audiences are going to be able to understand that they're going to wrap their head around this being an alternate universe type thing?
I mean, if how it starts is it's him doing that, like walking out of the Avengers. That's how they start the show. I think people get on pretty quick, but
yeah,
only if you actually watch the show. I guess.
Well, I guess.
And have watched Endgame.
Then
Otherwise,
there's also a running theme here between this potentially like another two, like another Disney show and another movie we're going to talk about in a minute. But they're really introducing a lot and playing with more alternate realities, multiverse stuff, and whatever else. So I think pointing at that's obviously, I think that's probably going to lead to our big bad, or like what the big storyline is going to be for the next several phases. It's going to be about the multiverse and stuff. And if they're introducing the multiverse in phase 4, and you want to ask the question of like, and maybe we want to talk about this later, but I was like, if they're going to ask the question of where's the X-Men and all these sorts of things, I think the multiverse is going to answer your question for a lot of X-Men and Fantastic Four related questions. The logo though, I give a solid 3 out of 10.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of flack on the internet. A lot of graphic designer jokes.
It is.
Yeah, it's a solid 3.
It's quite bad. So, like, it's got that very, this is cool, like, you know.
Let's use as many fonts as possible.
Yeah, it's like drawing those S's that everyone did in high school, and that's like how you design a logo around having to draw edgy stuff like that. But yeah, as a series, I'm not a big Loki fan. I might watch it anyway, like especially if, once again, if we get Disney Plus actually confirmed for Australia, if I'm paying for the service anyway, then my chances of watching it obviously increase. But as a setup, I'm not super intrigued, because I'm like, do I care about Loki enough as a character? No. Do I care about alternate reality Loki as a character? I mean, no. I really need to see a trailer to sell
you on it.
I feel.
Yeah, I understand. I'm keen. I like Loki. I like Tom Hiddleston. And apparently, if rumors are true that it's going to involve time traveling around and causing havoc, then that could be cool. Next up, we got another film release. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, coming May 7th, 2021, with Scott Derrickson returning to direct, and Benedict Cumberbatch coming back as Doctor Strange, with Elizabeth Olsen playing Scarlet Witch in the film. They've said this is going to be the first scary MCU movie. Yeah, and apparently it will have tie-ins to Wanda Vision.
Yeah, so then it's like, does that mean the Wanda Vision is going to be exploring alternate realities and the multiverse and stuff, and that's potentially how Vision comes back? That's what Wanda begins experimenting with, and that's kind of what may lead into this Doctor Strange sequel. I'm pretty excited for this one, because I love the first Doctor Strange. I actually consider it like top 5.
It's underrated.
MCU.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's highly underrated, and I just love the visual style of it, the darker stuff about it, the characters, and all this sort of stuff. Some of the casting, I'm like, well, did we need Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, or could we have someone else? We probably could add someone else, but that aside,
I mean, technically, you can have someone else for any role.
Yeah, but I think people know what I'm hinting at. This, I'm going to ask, like, if what's his name,
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Ejiofor, you're right, yeah. From the first one, I don't reckon he's returning for this one because I don't think his character could fit into a multiverse jumping storyline. I don't know how that.
I
really
think
makes
if
sense.
he did come back, he would be a subplot.
Yeah,
or
they
building towards a confrontation in 3.
Yeah, I think I'm going to set him in 3 at the moment. Obviously, for me, as I just said, top 5 Marvel movies, so super excited. But also, if they actually mean what they're saying, and this will be the first quote-unquote scary Marvel movie, that's going to have me super excited because much like I feel about with, the Star Wars movies and other things, I'm like, why can't they explore more genres of these fucking movies and just play around a bit? That's if you really want the superhero genre to not die out and get boring and people get superhero fatigue or comic book movie fatigue, they really need to be exploring different genres and doing different sort of styles of movies instead of just doing the typical. Every fucking Marvel movie has basically the same structure from start to finish. So, and the same style. And until recently, they were all shot on the exact same. They were told to shoot them in certain ways. And like until Guardians 2, it's like, well, James Gunn, you can have your own cinematographer and do what you need to do here. And they've been allowed to experiment a bit more now. So it seems that if Marvel's open to letting Scott Derrickson, who is a horror director, who did like Sinister and The Last Exorcism,
The Exorcism of Emily Rose, yeah.
Emily Rose, yeah. Let him explore his love for horror in this without going too far, obviously. I think there is obviously going to be a line. I feel like they could push like an M rating or something like that, but it's not going to be like MA or R, obviously. I'm not stupid.
There's not going to be a ton of blood.
No, I just
it's just going to be like scary monsters and shit.
Yeah, just push that level of stuff. So, and the logo for this one, I'm giving it a fucking 9 out of 10.
Yeah. I give it a 9. It looks good.
The full thing the full thing where they had the background and everything behind it and that sort of stuff. If you take the font and you look at it on the Phase 4 timeline, it's not as exciting. But when they had the background on it and that sort of stuff, it had like a real spooky feel to it. So yeah, I'm super excited for this one.
Yep,
this is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, announcement from the thing. I feel.
Then we got them talking about the animated series coming to Disney Plus in winter 2021. What If, which will be a bunch of alternate takes and different MCU stories. It's got pretty much everyone who's ever been in a Marvel movie ever in the cast, as well as Jeffrey Wright voicing the Watcher. I think we've talked about it before. It's pretty interesting, exciting to see what they can do. Obviously, they've got all this voice talent they could possibly want for any of the stories they want to tell. So,
wasn't Stan Lee canonically the Watcher?
I know. No, he was talking to the Watcher.
Oh, yeah, he was talking.
I mean, the theory is he's a Watcher.
Okay,
the fan theory, but there's no canonical.
I know, there was that Guardians of the Galaxy post thing. Remember? I was like, what does that mean? Yeah. This I'll watch these because it sounds fun, right? This sounds like a fun thing. The thing I don't like about this within the whole Marvel panel and is just having it linked into like a Phase 4 announcement. I'm like, what's this have to do with Phase 4? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just it's a side fun animated project. Sure, I've nothing against that, but
excuse me, we just talked about a multiverse.
Yeah, but the second I start saying these what if stories are potentially able to come into the live action, that's when you open up a whole gate here. So I just think they would have been better off kind of keeping this off as its own thing, not talking about it in the same reign as the Phase 4 stuff, not putting it on the Phase 4 timeline. Just found that a bit weird, but I mean, I'm open to watching these things. I like alternate reality stories. hoping the animation style, which we haven't seen, is fun, exciting. That's the only thing. It's like it's an animation. They're like, here's all this voice cast of people that are coming back. I'm like, cool.
It needs to not look like their other animated stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, can you show me what it looks like?
Yeah.
Show me a screen. Show me a fucking concept art. I don't know, something.
Yep. Then Jeremy Renner came out to talk about, briefly, the Hawkeye Disney Plus series coming in August 2021. Apparently, it'll explore more of his time as Ronin and will also feature Kate Bishop as his trainee that he'll be training up to be superhero-like without superpowers.
Yeah, so once again, we talked about this briefly months ago or whatever it was. Once again, was this confirmed before or was we talking about a rumor? I do not remember.
I can't remember either.
But I guess, as I said then, I'm hoping that this series, although it's called Hawkeye, and they've just officially confirmed the synopsis then or whatever, I'm hoping it is the whole Hawkeye is going to be in it for Jeremy Renner Hawkeye is the first season, and I'm hoping the baton, however you say it, is passed on, and then series 2 would be without him, as you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I just hope it's that kind of series. Also, I give the logo for this one a solid 10 out of 10 because I love that Matt Fraction logo from the comic.
All they did is they pulled it exactly from the comics. So
so I love it. It's also it's so weird to see that too because none of their other logos have so honestly just expressed what they're based on. You know what I mean? Like this is the only time I can think of a logo that's just like, and we're obviously basing this on the Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye comics, which are great, and we're just going to use the exact same fucking logo to the point that anyone looking at it who's read those comics is just going to be able to go link it up in their mind and go, I want to watch this because I know that logo.
Yep. Then we had the next Thor movie, which had been announced earlier in the week, I feel, if my memory serves correctly.
Yes, they confirmed it at on the E-interview, E-Live or whatever.
Yep. It's going to be called Thor, Love and Thunder. Directed by Taika Waititi, starring Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, coming November 5th, 2021. The big reveal, it's based on the comic book The Mighty Thor that was released recently, which introduces Jane Foster as Thor. Of course, Natalie Portman came out, wielding Mjolnir, to the applause of the audience. This is a massive, massive get. Huge. Because she's been in a long-running feud with Marvel, apparently, after the first two Thor movies. So, for her to come back for a fourth, or I guess a third role, big, huge.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It was a little bit spoiled because her name was listed as one of the voice talents in the What If thing. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. She's back doing stuff for Marvel. But no, yeah, she's coming back and she's going to be Thor.
What? Are you? I mean, you like Thor Ragnarok more than I do. So
yes, I do. I'm keen. I'm excited for this. I wonder how they're going to work it in because I definitely get the impression that they intended for this to come after Guardians 3, based on how Endgame finished. But of course, events changed that. So how does Thor end up? I suspect back on Earth for him to be interacting with Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie.
Does he? Do they ever
Portman's.
interact? Do they have to ever interact?
Or is it a misdirect? Is just Thor go off somewhere else at the start of the movie, and then the rest of the movie is just Tessa Thompson and Natalie Portman?
Honestly, I'm hoping, and also I wouldn't say that's too crazy to say. Do you think that's too crazy to say that they could actually do that?
I don't think it's too crazy. It's ballsy, and they could get a lot of.
Well, as far as I'm
flack,
concerned, they're already going to get a bunch of. I've already seen people in comments to the news reports on Twitter straight after this was announced. You know, you've already got all the fucking fuck boys coming out of the woodworks and screaming about how they've changed Thor to. And once again, I mean, this comic came out. I don't know.
Been out a few years.
It's been out a few years. And now you got all these people being like, oh, they've ruined the movies. They've changed it 4 into a 3. Oh, Marvel fucking SJW shit. I'm like, fucking go back to your hole and just fucking die there, please. But yeah, I think this is super exciting because I like Natalie Portman. I like her as an actor.
Yep.
And that I don't blame her for not wanting to be involved in the movies because she was just completely wasted as just atypical love interest, yawn, boring. What a waste of
we
a
all
what a
saw
waste of
Thor
a
the
talent.
Dark World.
Yeah. I mean, that movie's terrible and she's nothing in it. And I mean, no one's anything in that movie really, but it's like, what a waste. So I completely understand why she might not have wanted to be in them because, but like as an actor, it's not interesting role for her. What
No.
of interest in that role was there? So I assume they come to her and say, hey, do you want to be in it? She's like, no, I don't want to be the fucking
But
Thor's
listen.
love interest. That sounds boring. And then Taika comes in and he's like, how about your Thor?
More like, hey,
Yeah.
but this time you're Thor.
Yeah, this time you be Thor. Fuck off, Ghost. Yeah, so I'm super excited. I think this is probably this would be my second favorite announcement following the Doctor Strange thing. And as I've said, it's a known running fucking joke that apparently I hate Thor Ragnarok simply because I don't like it as much as the majority of people. But I am a big fan of Taika and I like the idea of this. I think this is an interesting move, shake up things, be super exciting, and I'll be way, way, way more super excited if they do what I was just talking about, which is basically pull the
rug out,
up,
everybody.
pull the rug out, and either have Chris Hemsworth be at the start and then have him piss off and never come back for the movie, or just have him be like sparingly throughout the movie, and the main run of characters will be Natalie Portman as Thor teaming up with Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, and then they have sweet romance together.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty cool pitch. I think
There was nothing I would love more than to see Valkyrie get Thor's girl.
and then
saying.
Thor to show up at the end of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'm completely down for this. if it's not too late, Marvel, you can call me. I've got script ideas.
Yep, cool. I'll at Taika.
Yeah.
And then the last big section we got confirmed, even though they're shooting it at the moment. Black Widow coming May 1st, 2020, directed by Kate Shortland, who's done Somersault and Berlin Syndrome. They brought out the cast of Scarlett Johansson, David Harbour, Florence Pugh, O.T. Benny?
Sure.
Bell from Handmaid's Tale, and Rachel Weisz. And then they showed a short trailer, I guess, or I don't know if it's not a trailer,
footage,
teaser
apparently.
footage.
It was fights with Taskmaster and some other things apparently.
Yeah. Apparently Scarlett Johansson's sister, who's being played by somebody. I think it's Florence Pugh, but I don't know. And then, yes, Taskmaster confirmed. Mimicking for Black Widow's moves and shit. With a shield.
Yep.
Yes.
Taskmaster is a very weird villain in the comics.
Super weird.
Very super. He just looks like he just looks like a very comic-y villain. You know what I mean? But so does like Baron Zemo and some other people that they've done. So they could obviously tone it down to fit the style. But in my mind, because I haven't seen it yet, I'm like, how does Taskmaster
like Skeletor.
Yeah. Especially because I used to play Hero Clicks a lot. Board game with Marvel characters or whatever else. And one of the characters I used a lot was Taskmaster. So I have this like certain image of this figure that I used to play a lot, and I'm like, that's what Taskmaster looks like in my mind, and I cannot picture that character being in a in a movie as an actual real character because it kind of looks ridiculous. But I mean, I like Florence Pugh. David Harbour obviously is great. Rachel Weisz is great. So I'm intrigued, but at the same time not super excited solely for a couple reasons. Firstly, this is the first movie of Phase 4. This is the first movie of the next thing, the setup to next chapter or the new book after the Infinity Saga. And the first movie in that chapter is a prequel.
Mm.
Okay? That's not super exciting. Like, unless this prequel is going to set up a lot of things that are going to be relevant for the next storyline. But I highly doubt that because, as I was talking about before, I think what's going to be highly relevant for the next running storyline is going to be multiverse stuff and whatever else. And do I think I'm going to get that in a prequel Black Widow movie that's probably going to be about Scarlett's fucking Natasha's Romanoff's like past and where she grew up and, you know, her training and her sister and, you know, all this sort of stuff. It's going to be delving into her past. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. But as chapter 1 in this new saga, not super enthralling, interesting.
Yeah, they could just tease things. I mean, who knows? Maybe Taskmaster's from an alternate Earth. Or something like that.
No. I think it's just going to be a...
Taskmaster is actually Natasha Romanoff for an alternate Earth, and she's going to be in future films.
Sure. Mind blown. Do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so, and I mean, if the footage leaks online, I'll happily watch some shitty phone footage later if I see it or whatever else. But other than that, we can't obviously speak on what was shown. But most of the people I follow on Twitter who were speaking about it said the fight scenes looked really cool and whatever else. So
more reminiscent of Winter Soldier. Actually.
Yeah, like more Winter Soldier type stuff. So, and I like that sort of stuff. So, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. As a setup chapter, meh. Black Widow as a character to me is not super interesting. So, yeah.
Yep. And then at the end of the panel, Kevin Feige said, "Oh no, we've run out of time. We can't talk about Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, Fantastic Four, Mutants, or Guardians 3. Oh, what a shame." But they did have one last reveal. Blade is coming to the MCU, and he's going to be played by Mahershala Ali. That is perfect casting. You should all like my tweet that said that Mahershala Ali is thanking Robert Rodriguez for his audition tape for Blade. Alita, Battle Angel. Because he looked like Blade in that film, so might as well just make him Blade.
Did they say if this was... They just said he's going to be playing Blade somewhere. They didn't say, like, where he's showing up or what he's doing.
No, that happened, I believe, is he came out... No, I think just the logo came up on the screen. And then he came out wearing a hat that said Blade. With the logo.
So I can't picture him doing a TV series, though. You know what I mean? I know he did True Detective, but...
Everything I've seen has said it's going to be a film, so...
Okay. Then the other thing about this casting news that's going to confuse a lot of people, and I mean, this is one of the problems, is Mahershala Ali played...
Cottonmouth or something.
Cottonmouth in
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, thank you. In Luke Cage Season 1, he played the villain Cottonmouth. So now... Obviously, Marvel has been very open about the fact that the Netflix TV shows weren't really canon, and the Netflix shows are obviously defunct now, so it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, it is going to be one of those things of people being like, what?
Wait.
You know, there's going to be at least a handful of people that are going to be having a split second of, but isn't he so-and-so? Or like, does that mean Cottonmouth is now Blade somehow? Yeah, so, but solely as a casting thing, I think there's really good casting. I think he'll be a really good Blade. I can totally see it. I'm just intrigued to see how and what and when they decide to do a Blade movie and if they're actually going to do it properly. And I mean, I know we're talking about with they're saying they're doing more of a horror movie with Doctor Strange sequel. Are we going to actually get a proper Blade thing where it's quite violent stuff? Because if not, what's even the fucking point at that point?
Yeah, that's true.
It has to be like MA. It has to be violent to be Blade. And
I guess we're confirming vampires in the MCU?
Yeah, so does that mean they can tie in that fucking Jared Leto thing?
No, because that's part of the Sony deal, so.
Yeah.
and Morbius was never part of
the Spider-Man deal, yeah.
Or Blade. I don't think he's ever been in Blade, so. He's a living vampire, not a vampire.
Yeah.
I know. Or maybe this is set on an alternate Earth where there's vampires everywhere.
This is my one feel of this multiverse stuff is now we just get lots of, that's alternate universe. Or they do something and then like a year later because they don't want it to be like part of the main story anymore, they're just like, and that was an alternate universe. And that was alternate. You know, like I've got lots of worries for this stuff. And, you know, as bring it back to the multiverse thing, saying there, Kevin Feige teases, says the words Fantastic Four, says the word mutants. I think he was like obviously half joking. They didn't run out of time. I just think he's saying, like, teasing everyone that, hey, we've got them. We can say the name now. But yeah, I definitely feel like maybe we get them teased in something like Multiverse of Madness or something like that, you know, like some sort of hints at them. But I don't think we're going to see a sign of a Fantastic Four or a X-Men until Phase 5.
I guess so.
I doubt
I don't even know.
Or something.
Do you think this is technically the entire Phase 4? Or do you think this is like the... Because they've only shown stuff for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
It's... The last couple of phases have been 3 to 4 years long, I think. Or is it just... Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like they could maybe have one more year because they usually ended on a
Avengers
big
film?
movie. But also I feel like Thor is a big enough movie for it to be the finale of a phase, potentially. So,
yeah.
You know. I mean, they fucking ended a phase on Ant-Man and the Wasp, didn't they? So...
I can't remember.
Or Ant-Man or something. I don't know.
I can't remember at this point. They all kind of blur together. That was just the Infinity Saga. The phases don't really matter. I don't think.
No. I'll also say with it, like when you look at that timeline, because I got the timeline now, the thing, and when they started the panel, I was a bit concerned at first when I thought they were going to have 7 films in 2021. I was like, 7 Marvel films? Get the fuck out of my life. That's utterly nonsense if they're going to make 7 films. But then, of course, they confirmed that half of these things on here are TV shows. So, you know, it goes Black Widow, Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it basically goes movie, TV show, movie, TV show, movie, TV show, TV show, TV show, movie. There's a bunch of split there. But I think the smartest thing they've done for all my problems with having the what if thing part of this, I think the smartest thing they've done for Disney Plus is have the Disney Plus shows laid out alongside the movies, because it basically says, hey, all you Marvel fans, all you MCU fans, this shit is canon. It is not extra content. It is not bonus material that you may want to watch if you're intrigued. They're saying this is the next thing. Like once, for example, it's like once Black Widow's out, what's the next MCU thing that's coming out? It's Falcon and Winter Soldier. Subscribe to Disney Plus now. After fucking Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness has come out, what's the next MCU thing? It's Loki. Subscribe to Disney Plus. They're really just getting people's minds to connect that they have to watch these TV shows to keep up with the MCU, and that means you have to subscribe to Disney Plus. So, welcome to the world of Disney, where they're going to take all your money because everyone is going to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Yeah, they weren't just happy taking your money 3 times a year with movie tickets. They've got to take it every single month with the paid subscription.
Yep.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of this special broken news report of What Do You Want to Watch. Dylan, where can people find you on the internet to talk about more Marvel stuff?
Vivladil, VIVALADIL, all the places. Come tell me how good Doctor Strange is.
Yep, you can find me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. Remember, go like that tweet. You can find the Explosion Network, which is a part of at Explosion Pod on Twitter, or you can just go to explosionnetwork.com to see all our latest news, reviews, and other podcasts. Leave us a review either on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser, or let your friends know that all about the goodness that you'll be listening to on What Do You Want to Watch about the next 2 years of Marvel stuff. It's going to be great. And until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
Every trophy counts. Don't be told otherwise. Join myself and Ash each Tuesday when a shiny new episode of Platinum Explosion dings into podcast feeds. The #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias breaks down all the latest in PlayStation related news, releases, trophy lists, and much, much more. Just search your podcast app for Platinum Explosion and subscribe for free now.